My first area was unique. I'm sure every area is unique, but this was a street with most people, they were relying on the government for their livelihood. And so everywhere we went, it seemed like people were smoking and on the streets, and the kids were running all over. And also, they didn't have defined relationships very much at all. So it was just like boyfriend, girlfriend, all over the place, but then like breakups and drama. Anyway, so that was a shock coming from Utah and just being in a completely different environment. But one time we had this lesson where people were just like coming in and out because this neighborhood just had kind of this open community feel. And so people would just wander into other people's houses and they were all friends. So we ended up having about 13 people in this lesson that we were teaching. And somehow my companion and I ended up teaching different sides of the room. And so she's over here having a conversation and I'm talking with someone else, and I start talking about marriage they asked like how we approach family, and I was telling them about the family proclamation. Anyway, so he asks if we practice polygamy, and my companion jumped in at that moment, and she had apparently heard the whole conversation wrong, because she just looks over and she's like, "Yes, we do." And I was like, "Oh no, we don't." And she's like, "Yes, we do." And so we had this whole moment just looking at each other, and I was like, "No," and she's like, "Yes." And it took about 10 minutes to recover from this, because then the whole room was like, "Oh, you do like that?" Of course, some of them were like, "That's great." And the others are like, "Oh, like, what are you thinking?" And so eventually they understood that, no, we don't. I understood what my companion thought after when we were walking down the road. She's like, "I thought he asked if we got married." And I was like, "Yes, we do." So there's just those moments that you can't help, and both of us had good intentions. She's from Utah as well. So she had literally just heard it wrong. I think he phrased it like this: "Do you marry more than one person at a time?" And so she just heard the like, "Do you get married" part, and it turned into that whole fiasco.